Hello, my name is Chad Hanrahan, and thanks for taking some time to listen to my project presentation. The name of my project is Teachers' Insights on the Mathematics Learning Commons as a Community of Practice. So, the significance of this project to my teaching career, I'm currently a French Immersion Mathematics 7A teacher at Dr. T.L. Sullivan. That's located in the Cape Breton Victoria Regional School Board. So, I do daily lesson planning like every other teacher, and I use this educational technology tool, the Mathematics Learning Commons, daily. Now, I really enjoy using this. However, I was wondering if the other math teachers felt the same as me within the Cape Breton Victoria Regional School Board. So, after an intensive online search, I wasn't able to find any data, either favorable or unfavorable, on the MLC. So I felt this was a logical choice to do my educational 5800 research project. So originally my plan was to outline its effectiveness, but with some suggestive feedback, my research project question is, which features of a community of practice are supported by the Mathematics Learning Commons? So after I did my research on this project, I prepared a literature review. And this diagram outlines that literature review in a nice, succinct format. So there's 5 elements of my literature review, and those 5 elements help to shape the relationship of my research project to the literature. So they are importance of teacher professional development, features of a community of practice, professional development via a community of practice, effectiveness of an online community of practice, and the importance of evaluating an online community of practice. And those 5 elements, after you see what the research led to, help design the scope of my own project, are features of a community of practice being supported by the MLC. So very quickly, I tried to summarize these into one sentence. Forgive me if it's not doing justice to the literature. This is just for simplicity and rapidity. So in the first element, importance of teacher professional development, Borko 2009 discussed the importance of professional development for teachers to augment their pedagogical practices. The more PD a teacher does, the more likely they are to become better with their teaching practices. So features of a community of practice, according to Lab 1991, a community of practice was based on the principle of learning as social participation when people who have a common interest elaborate over an extended period of time to share common practices and ideals. I felt it was necessary to outline what a community of practice was because when I first started doing this project way back in September and October, I didn't know what it really was myself, so I felt for the readers and also for preparing my data collection instrument that was needed to be done. As well, Lab and Wegner in 1998 stated that community of practices had 6 fundamental characteristics: domain, community, practice, motivation, structure, and mandate. And those are the key elements I used to design my data collection tool as well. Professional development via a community of practice, that was done by Koto and Der Stink Homfeld 2008 and Smith 2009. They explained that professional development could be achieved by teacher participation within an online community of practice. And because of this online community of practice, they were also much more effective, and that was outlined by Pimmel and L in 2013. Because of technology's role within the community of practice, it allows increases in effectiveness by allowing specific customization that help meet the specific needs of each community member. And lastly, the importance of evaluating an online community of practice. That research was gathered from the World Bank Group 2014, and that outlined the importance of regular evaluation of the online community of practice in order to determine if the community is continuing to meet the needs of its members. Participants in my research project was one of the elements that I was a little bit saddened about. We have about 300 teachers teaching mathematics in the Cape Breton Victoria Regional School Board, and I'm with hope that all received my message from their principal to complete this form, but I only got 33 participants. Now, 32 chose to participate, and then 1 teacher chose not to. The pie chart on the right describes what their current teaching assignment was. There were 4 basic teaching assignments, elementary mathematics, middle school mathematics, high school mathematics, and then mathematics resource, which could be in-school resource or interventionist/mentor. My research project methodology is outlined in this slide here. It was a mixed method approach done, and now according to Creswell, that a mixed method methodology is a combination of both qualitative and quantitative approaches. The quantitative part of the research study was my case study. That was the mathematics teachers completing my survey. The quantitative part was the survey itself. It was a Google form questionnaire. And this Google form questionnaire was delivered to the math teachers via an email. As I said very short time ago, it was sent by me to my math coordinator, and then the coordinator and myself formulated an email that was sent to principals outlining my project. And then those principals in each school, sent the Google form questionnaire email to teachers for completion. So now, very quickly, I'll take a little break. This is what the Math Learning Commons looks like. This is what the kind of this thing in Nova Scotia virtual schools. This is the page you would be at. Now, I would click here, Mathematics Learning Commons 7 through 9, because that's the group of students that I teach middle school. There's also P to 5 and 10 to 12. This is my Google form questionnaire. As I outlined, there is the project description. This is where you agree to consent. This is basically your current teaching assignment questions, familiarity and usage of it, and then each of the key elements: domain, community, practice, motivation, structure, and mandate, all listed there. And the very final part, you're allowed to give some feedback if you want, and I actually had some good feedback from the teachers that did participate. I highlighted in yellow the person that decided not to participate. So again, 33 total, 32 willing, 1 no. So back to my story. Again, there were 6 elements to be discussed. Those elements were listed below in bold face letters: domain, community, practice, motivation, structure, and mandate. So, to figure out the answer to my question, which features of a community of practice are supported by the Mathematics Learning Commons, I need to have a favorable response for its summary question. Now, I determine a favorable response to a summary question as a combined score, or percentage score, I should say, of 50% or higher for the selections of agree or strongly agree. And contrarily, if an unfavorable response would be 50% or higher if a person selected either disagree, strongly disagree, or neither agree nor disagree. Here are my summary questions. Just for sake of time, I won't read them all. As you can see, they're very straightforward. The wording I tried to make as not minimalist, but as simplistic and to the point as possible in order to create a direct answer and correlation to what I was looking for. So again, very straightforward, and we're looking for favorable responses in that. My results are listed in the table below. So for domain, 63.6% were in the agree or strongly disagree category. Community, 15.1% were in the agree or strongly agree category. Practice was 84.9% in the agree or strongly agree category. Motivation, 81.8% were in the agree or strongly agree part. Structure, 57.6% were in the agree or strongly agree part. And mandate, 51.5% were in the agree or strongly agree categories. So if you look over the far right, you see in the combined percentages of participants who disagree, strongly disagree, and or neither agree nor disagree, the stars there indicate that the category that was most selected for that part was neither agree nor disagree. And I found that fascinating, but I'll comment more about that in the final conclusion part of this presentation. So, according to the data collected by the Google form, there were 5 features of a community of practice supported by the Mathematics Learning Commons. They were domain, practice, motivation, structure, and mandate. These summary questions, had 50% or higher for its combined percentage. There was one feature that was not supported by the Mathematics Learning Commons according to the data, and that was community at 15%. So as well, according to the data collected by the Google Forum, the MLC needs to improve considerably in its community feature. And that is a key element of all community practices, so that would definitely be something that they could look forward to working on in the future. So, final thoughts. 33 participants is not a statistically significant amount of participants to make genuine conclusions about anything, let alone an important tool like the MLC. So, much more participation from various school boards around the province will be required to make more valid and reliable conclusions about this educational technology tool. I also feel that with this added response, you'll see much more, I believe you'd see much more data on the side of agree or disagree instead of being in the neither agree nor disagree category. Which leads me to my final point about my project. Several questions had a large percentage of neither agree nor disagree as a response, which could possibly signify that mathematics teachers may not understand what a community of practice represents. As well, I did not know much about it when I first started this project, and through my literature reading, I learned a lot about it. So perhaps if people knew more about what a community of practice is, they would be able to answer the questions even more accurately. Now, final thoughts about my project. I realize I'm not a great researcher. I did a very, very good job trying to keep up with this project, doing my best to understand the parts which were very unfamiliar to me. I had a lot of fun, even though it was hard. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot about myself and what I could do. I was very intimidated by doing this kind of work, but as I got a handle on it and took my feedback and listened to other people's thoughts and read posts in the Moodle page, I got more comfortable getting into this work. Again, I don't think research is going to be my career choice going forward, but I'm glad I did do this, and now that I can see the other side and we're pretty much to the end, I'm glad I did this, and I'm looking forward to reading other projects and learning much more about other people's research in the fields that they're learning, because there's eventually going to be a time where I'll probably have to work in these fields that they are doing research on, so the more information for me, the better. So instead of rambling, I think I might end it here at the 13-minute mark. I wish you all the best in your own research projects, and thank you again for listening to my own. Take care.